Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic. I'm Pam Rossi, as we're broadcasting live from our Music Town, beautiful studios here in Hockeytown, downtown Detroit. Thank you for joining us and taking a look at what we have to offer this week. As we do every week, I have local artists come in, and we just sit and chat and have some fun and hear some music. And this week, I have the indie pop band, I like to say that one, from Royal Oak, Michigan. Welcome to Kimball here in our studios. Hi.
How's it going?
It's going.
Hello.
Yeah.
We have Austin
Yes.
and Brody.
Yep.
There's still a few more members of your band, but, you know.
Yeah, things fell through. We're doing an acoustic piece right now.
That's okay.
Yeah. And even when we do our acoustic pieces, normally it's a 3-piece, but just things happen, so we're gonna make it work.
I kind of have to expect that. I do this at noon in the middle, during the week. So, I understand most musicians have other jobs and, other things going on. So, so I'm glad we got you two in here.
Yeah.
So good.
Happy to be here.
We've got at least we got the lead vocalist here.
Lead vocalist.
Yes.
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 But,
the other one is Emily Barr.
Yeah.
She's the other vocalist with you.
Yeah.
Does she play instrument as well?
No,
or?
she just sings.
Okay. All right. So you got the two lead vocalists. So, and Austin McCauley, you are the lead vocalist and guitarist, and Brody Glaza.
Glazer.
Doggone it.
So close. It's okay.
Like the donut glaze.
Like a glazed donut.
Glazed donut. All right, now
Donut.
I'll remember that. All right, and obviously on drums, as you're sitting there in front of the instrument there. So, and then we're also missing Christian.
Yes, Christian on bass, Cameron on guitar.
Okay, say Christian's last name. I don't want.
Feifelsky.
Yes,
Feifelsky.
that's a tricky one.
Feifelsky.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's
All
fun
right.
name
So
to
missing
say.
those two, but normally the whole group
Yeah.
is together, or acoustic with Emily.
3,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good. Glad to have at least two of you in here. So
Yes.
thank you for coming in. And I wanted to just, well, first of all, you're fairly new at this, so I noticed I was trying to find out more about you and what you're all up, do, what you obviously music, but more about the band and everything. But so you're fairly new. So as a new band, I guess we can kind of say starting out. How long have you been together?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will be
Well-
3 years. It will be 3 years this
Yeah,
Friday.
because Arts Speaks and Eats marks like our beginning of our band.
Bandiversary.
Yeah, it was our first show, and we're
Uh-huh.
playing our 3rd year this Friday. So.
Yeah, definitely. A great way to get yourself exposed to
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people, to fans and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty impressive that your first gig was Arts Beats and Eats. That's a huge festival around here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we it was funny because I do like recording and stuff at my house, just like really, just like not anything like crazy professional, but there's a band that reached out to us and was like, hey, could you record us for Arts Beats and Eats? And I was like, yeah, like because you need a demo. And so I said yes, and then they were like, never mind, some things fell through, and we had been playing, like we'd started writing some music together, and then I was like, guys, why don't we do this? And so we recorded a video. We like came up with the name on spot.
Really?
We can talk more.
Oh,
about,
yeah.
and then we just sent in the video, and somehow they wanted us to play. And
Yes, and
we've
it's been an
played.
upward journey since there.
Yeah, seriously.
That's pretty good. Well, first of all, to get the thought in your head, someone was going to do it, and did you think about that before at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Like I had been to Arts Beats and Eats, but I didn't know that they were like accepting local musicians, or I didn't know how
either,
any of
yeah.
that.
Oh, the
worked,
majority of those play are local.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, now we know that.
Yeah.
Now we have a lot of knowledge in that stuff, but yeah, at that point we had no clue what we were doing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
the video we recorded was terrible, and it was up on YouTube, and I wish it still was, just so I can look back and laugh at us.
You don't have
So
any kind of a
cringy.
demo of it?
No, because it was
Oh,
it was actually
no.
just recorded on a camera, and
Okay.
it was playing live, and like I remember I took it down like maybe a year and a half ago, just because I was
know.
like, this is kind of bad. But now if I watch it, I'd be like, oh no, how did they like let us
So
do
bad.
this?
It's
Well,
really bad.
They obviously saw something.
Yeah.
Which is what we're very grateful
Well,
for.
we're not going to go with that. Well, they really needed somebody to fill in the last
Yeah.
minute or something. No, we're not going to go with that. No, I mean, you obviously had something, and a lot of times people that do that, hear bands constantly. I mean, I'm sure they get flooded with requests
yeah.
to be part of the festival. Just to hear you, they have some kind of a. I mean, they're trained. They know what they're looking for, and they heard something there. So kudos to you guys for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's too bad you don't have that demo though.
I know.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Now that we're playing again, is like I want to find it somehow.
Was
somehow.
it recorded on an iPhone?
No, it was on the camera.
It was on a
but
camera? Oh.
That's not on a tape of some sort?
I don't know.
All right.
I have
Your
no-
mission.
That is our goal now.
But to go back and look at that would,
Mhm.
to me, would be like, this is really, that's an inspiration for you
It
to
is,
see
yeah.
where
Yeah.
you were, how you started out, and where you've come to at this point, and really how you can grow some more.
Yeah.
You know, those kinds of
Definitely.
things would help you with that.
I know it's crazy too, because like a lot of times I'll be like looking through my phone and I'll find like this random video that somebody sent me of us like playing like 2.5 years ago on like this iPhone, and like it's so weird because like the venues we used to play at, like some of them aren't even around anymore because they were just like these smaller local venues that closed down after a long time, and just seeing like us playing like these house shows and stuff, and just it's just completely different, especially like we had a different line of musicians even playing with us, so our sound was completely altered from what it's kind of morphed into now. So it's so interesting to see how you can develop even within like 3 years as a band, musically and emotionally, and it's been crazy.
And now we're back to the beginning with us too.
Yes.
We're less than the beginning, but
So you left for a while and then came back? Is that?
no,
No.
I'm saying like we're back to like a two-piece.
Oh,
right
I
now.
see.
Like,
From
we
way
talk
back
about,
when.
like-
Okay, gotcha.
Like growing up and having a full band, and now we're here and we don't get to show it. But
Well, you got to start somewhere. I would think it would be easier to start with just one, or excuse me, two, maybe three, like a trio, whatever, and then morph into this like, man, we want to try this kind of a sound. Let's add, something else,
Yeah.
the bass, the horns, whatever,
It's crazy how it came around too, because I think we were playing a show, just us three as a trio at the time, and like I knew this bass player who was really good, and I'd never actually met her in person. I was like, hey, my band's playing a show, you should come. And she came, and she like really liked us, so then she started playing with us out of nowhere. So it's just funny how people just even start to play with you that you wouldn't even expect.
And that says a lot about, if they want to jump in and be
Yeah.
part of that, again, that says a lot about, what you do and, and your sound and what you're going for. Do you have a specific, I know you say you're indie pop, do you have a specific sound you'd like to go for? Or
it's so hard to say that. I mean, like the easiest way to put it that's just like people would be like, oh yeah, I know what that's going to sound like, is like indie alternative. It's the easiest way, but I mean, we have a lot of musical inspirations from a lot of different backgrounds, and
Yeah.
with our EP out right now, I feel like that's just not even scratching the surface of what we want to be able to portray.
Yeah.
But I mean, with our live shows, it comes out a little bit more. But I mean, we just have a lot of inspirations. But baseline, just indie alternative, just
So what are those inspirations?
It's different for all of us,
Yes.
which is what's so cool about it. So like for me personally, like I'm super into world music. So a lot of the music I listen to comes from Africa or Latin America or
interesting.
jazz or funk music. Like that's really what influences me, and that's what I practice and play to the most. A lot of gospel music too, because we all come from a church background, and that's kind of how most of us started playing together. So like a lot of my inspiration comes from stuff like that, and trying to incorporate these rhythms and sounds and tones that the average person isn't used to hearing, and trying to incorporate them fluidly into pop music,
Interesting.
which is really cool. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit about my influences. If
and
you
then
want to.
I'm like, I like a lot of acoustic folk music, but at the same time, like a lot of like more just like basic indie alternative bands, and like some newer alternative or indie bands that are coming through, and like mixing that with what he knows. And I also like, I grew up playing piano, and like I did a lot of composition and film score, like classical music, but I think a lot of the film score aspect with just like creating like ambient textures and stuff is a big thing. And then like I know Emily listens to a lot of like, I don't even, more like
Just like straight up
darker-
alternative,
more
dark
like
pop music.
darker pop, so that like some of her melodies kind of flow into that. And then like our bassist, I mean, he listened. I can't speak for them, but I know I can speak for us three. But yeah, so it all morphs together, and we like to be inspired, but at the same time, it's like important to like take that inspiration and not like try and copy it.
Right,
just like
right.
really, because I think all of us are very emotionally touched by music in our own ways, and like we can't help but be inspired by that. But at the same time, we're all creators, so we take that and create something new out of it.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, but some people are like, oh, we don't want to be inspired. Like, we're going to try and be uninspired. But that's almost, I feel like, in my opinion, that's almost impossible, because you hear something and you're going to like it. And sometimes I'll write something and I'll be like, I love this. And then I'll hear a song I'd been listening to. And I was like, it kind of sounds like that. And we're like,
Yeah.
okay, scratch that.
Scratch
you know?
that, yeah. Yeah, it cannot be the sounding the same, or even
Yeah.
even just a few of the riffs or something,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, they don't get you
Yeah.
in trouble by with
Big
the intellectual property police.
Oh yeah.
You don't want that to happen. So, all right, I'll tell you what. Let's hear a song.
Yeah.
Let's do
Talking
it.
about all this inspiration and everything. So people are like, all right, what is it going to sound like?
The song is called Weave Teeth.
Say it again.
Weave Teeth.
Okay.
Yeah. Ready?
Falling fire, following pirates is not okay. Loving the no rates is far away. Got it in my light, it's okay. Know my secrets, hold my pain. Kim's aside, notify me when I can try. It's all inside, oh don't you mind? I got my fire, oh don't you mind? If I fight with my fire, oh don't you mind? Choke out, roll now, weaved in between your teeth. Know the last hold underneath your feet. Almost fried 'cause of what was tied. What was tied, your love it died. Home was fried 'cause what was tied. Home was fried 'cause of what was tied. What was tied, your love it died. Home was fried 'cause of what was tied. What was tied. One by one, what is done will refire what is gone. Build up strong, your love's not gone, your love's not gone. One by one, what is done will refire what is gone. You build up strong, your love's not gone, your love's not gone. Two by two, I fall for you, you fall for me. 3 years will bleed. Build up strong, your love's not gone, your love's not gone. 'cause what was tied. Home was right, 'cause what was tied. What was tied, love had died. Home was right, 'cause what was tied. What was tied.
Kimball on Behind the Mic this morning. Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. When just the two of you as well. I can't imagine when you get the whole band together.
It's so different. It's so different. It's much more energetic, a lot faster. That's like
Yeah.
our acoustic version of that song.
Okay.
That song was not written acoustic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's much different.
Do you find you need to have that with the majority of your songs, be able to play them acoustic or
Oh, yeah.
full band?
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
like we said, since we started as an acoustic three-piece, most of our songs we can do that.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the ones that we started writing as a full band, it's a little bit harder just because like I'm playing electric on them. They're a lot more like upbeat, more electric guitar riffs. So
Mm-hmm.
those are a little bit harder to play acoustic, but we have like a good bunch that we can always play acoustic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in your EP, is it the full band on
yeah,
there? Okay.
it's the full band. So,
So-
if anybody's listening, they're like, it sounded a little weird, then you can hear what it's supposed to sound like on all streaming platforms. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it's still nice to be able to play with just him because we jam out a lot. But
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
it's not the same.
When you're writing a song, do you start off with first saying, okay, this is definitely just going to be the acoustic, or this is going to be definitely the full band, or do you think, okay, I need something that can work for both?
That's a good question. I feel like one thing that I feel like makes us, I mean, a lot of bands have an acoustic guitar like in the band. That's not
Right.
crazy, but I feel like with our music, a lot of the times the acoustic guitar will drive a song, and then like an electric guitar will just add like glitter on top.
Glitter,
It's
okay.
a weird way to say it, but
Yeah.
Yeah. The
a lot
sprinkles.
of our sprinkles on top, and I feel like a lot of these like new indie bands are just like double electric guitars and like doing, which is cool. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I love it, but I feel like that's something that's a little different about us. And so I feel like a lot of our songs would start on acoustic,
Yeah, definitely.
and then we figure out ways to not make it like total acoustic music or folk music and add more,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's electronic aspects or ambient aspects to it. But sometimes we do just start, like I'll start on electric and we'll find like something to jam to, and then it'll just be like one of those songs where I'm playing electric guitar.
Yeah.
Well, you have to have a bass, and
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
the acoustic is a good place to start when you do that. So,
Yeah, totally.
You said something, I'm kind of going to jump around here, but you said something earlier about the inspiration with the film scores.
Yeah.
Did you ever write a film score, or do you
Yeah,
plan to?
I've done like a few short films
Oh, okay.
just for people locally.
Oh, fun.
Which I absolutely love doing. I haven't done it much lately, but I mean I didn't start singing until 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And before that I like I said, I started on piano, so I composed a lot of music just from what I heard in my head. I would just play it out and record it on just like a small 8-track piano thing. And like it wasn't really music that I had been listening to, it's just music that I'd heard, so I'd write it, and then that like transitioned into like getting, I don't know, just it kind of transitioned into film score from there, just the composition and looking what I could do with that. And I found some local filmmakers and connected with them.
Good,
And was
good,
able to.
Yeah.
It was,
Because
yeah.
film scores are, that's a whole different animal, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a lot different
Yeah.
than writing
Yeah.
a song.
So any films that we would know of? At this
No,
point?
not that you
yet?
would know.
Just thought
one
I'd
of
ask.
them was like played at the DIA. It won an
Okay.
award, like the movie it did. The movie won the award, not the film score. But
Darn.
So
Yeah.
close.
So close.
but it's just like I said, just local.
Well, you have to start off
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
the unknowns, gets your, feet in the door, and, someone else will see that movie that's, maybe a filmmaker or documentary or whatever it may be, and said, oh, I like whoever did that score, I really like, that's basically how it goes. So, and if you're in with a few filmmakers already, then that's that'll get around in their circle too.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I'm not doing it too much, but
Okay.
it just kind of.
Well, you're kind of busy with this band, right?
Yeah, and it like I said, it influenced a lot of, not a lot of, but sometimes I feel like that can, like there's a cinematic ambient aspect.
Definitely, definitely.
Well, that's another thing, just to to say you know how to do and you can do. So just a nice thing to have on your resume there. I mean, not that musicians have resumes, but or do they? I don't think
We
so.
can.
Oh, okay.
Depends on what kind of thing we're aiming for.
Okay. All right. So I love the way I saw this on. Well, you don't have a website as of yet, but it must have been your Facebook. It says, you have a passion to create, inspire, and love through music. Why don't you explain all that?
You want to start or you want me to start?
He's in deep thought all of a sudden.
Yes. So I think a lot of it is like I'm using music, and I'm speaking for myself on a lot of this. Music for me is like, it's such a language, right? I think that's something that often gets overlooked by people, is that language is nothing more, but it's nothing less than a language. So it's supposed to communicate people. It conveys thoughts, ideas, emotions in a way that words can't do justice to, through an exchange of melody and rhythm. And rhythm is the beat of our heart, and melody is the song of our soul. So at that very level, like, it connects all of us as humans at a very basic level in a way that words themselves just don't do justice, right? So it speaks beyond that. And when you are proficient in speaking a language, you can convey ideas so elegantly and beautifully, right? That it really impacts people. That's why we look at, these great writers like Shakespeare and these poets and all these other people, and we look to them with such inspiration and awe because they were able to capture that in a captivating way. And music's no different. When we look at a really good musician or artist, they've mastered the language of music to be able to captivate you in that way by being able to develop and explain these ideas that you can't even explain with words through their music and through their melodies. So that's something that I think we really shoot for. Personally, I really shoot for in creating music, is trying to just develop that. And I think love is the word that really rings true in all of that. It's because we want to spread love through that. We want to love people through that, and because of that, we want people to feel loved and appreciated through our music and feel this overwhelming presence of love no matter where they're hearing our music, if it's live, if it's from a recording, no matter where it is. We want that to kind of be something that reigns through our music, because a lot of our music is inspired by love in some form or the other.
Yeah. No, I would
Well
agree with-
said,
yeah,
Brody.
Thank you.
He loves talking about that. That's like, I've heard
You could
that.
tell he was very passionate
Yeah,
about
like,
that.
I,
Wow.
I feel like I've heard that word for word before, and I love it. No, I agree with him. I feel like a lot of our songs are focused on past emotions that we've had and just things that we've struggled with, which is, I mean, it's normal for songwriters to write about that,
Yeah.
And out of that, we found something. And like, for me personally, like, I'm personally not that great at expressing my emotions in a normal way, like using my words to say how I feel. And like, I just feel like music is an easy way to do that, which again is a normal thing. And just the way I've felt about certain artists, like there's a few artists that have just really like inspired me and made me, I don't know how to explain it, just the way I feel about certain artists. Like that's what we want to do. We want to be able to, like you said, portray a feeling for people, because we're not just playing our music because we love it. Like, we want our fans and whoever hear us to feel something, you know? Like, it's fun going to a concert and jumping around and going crazy, but my favorite concerts that I've been to are concerts that like stir something up in you.
Exactly. You may not remember the words to that song or to, how that beat went, but you remember how you felt when you left that concert.
Yeah, and it was funny. We were listening to, we have like a live recording of our EP show, and I was like, we were just listening to some things, and I made a joke, this isn't true, but I said like that show was 95% emotion and 5% talent, which isn't true, but I just like, we all just
That sounds like
really,
a song title, but I'm sorry.
we just all really got into it, and like, in my opinion, I feel like the people that were there could feel what we were giving out, just how we feel, we express that through our music, and people feel that. It's an exchange,
Well, they're going to come back if they felt good after they experienced your live show or your CD, whatever. They're going to go back because it made them feel a certain way. And sometimes the music doesn't make you feel all that good, but it connects with you. Maybe reminds you of a bad time of your life or something, but they connect with it. I think that's the key. They can connect with it, so they'll come back for more.
Yeah.
That's true. Good. Yeah. Okay. I was curious. I mean, it's kind of in a nutshell, but man,
Yeah,
you guys
it is.
explained
It
it quite
really
well.
was in a nutshell. I had to, not saying that that's not true, but I had to write that kind of quick.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have, I know we have a lot more like about us on some like blogs locally, and like in the newspaper. I think like Metro Times, some other things.
Mm-hmm.
Deep Cuts blog, Hip in Detroit, Audio Femme. They kind of explain a little bit more about like
Okay.
that nutshell, you know.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. How about another song, guys?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do what he says. With that, you're listening to Behind the Mic. I have Kimball here live in the studio.
Out of blue sky with a blue mind go. Fun show, singing loud, don't wanna go. Little plan for a long, long day. Lazy girl in the grass in the blue comes way. Fall into it. Fall into it. Slow spin clock, still got a lot of light. Slow spin clock, nights go so, so long. Lazy girl in the grass, I'll close an eye to see a smile from the warmth and from the tide. I'll close an eye to see a smile from the warmth and from the time.
Kimball. Nice.
Thank you.
Where does the name Kimball come from?
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Can I take this one? Okay.
Did I hit a sore spot or something?
Oh no, you hit a good spot.
Oh, okay.
So when we were auditioning for Arts Beats and Eats our first year, like we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
we were in this church building recording our video on like this tiny stage, right? So we were setting up our camera and we had just finished and we're like, oh my gosh. Well, we hadn't started yet. Sorry, I'm mixing up my story. We hadn't started yet. And we didn't have a band name yet, right? Because this was all very, very last second.
wow.
So we were about to perform our song, but at the beginning of your song, you had to say your band name, right?
Okay.
So we're up there and we're like, okay, we gotta think of a band name. What are we gonna do? And we start joking around with each other and just throwing out jokes because we're all really good friends, right? So we're naming like people that we know. And there's this guy named Mikey Kimball, who's kind of just been like a mentor for all of us, you know, in church spiritually, and he's kind of brought us all together musically in all these different ways, and he's been a really big inspiration for all of us. And he's actually how we all met each other in the beginning. So we're like, what if we named our band Mikey? And we all laughed, ha 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 ha. And then I'm like, what if we named our band Kimball? Because his last name is Kimball. And we're like, ha 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 ha. Wait, I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Okay, we'll keep that, and then we'll change it later. And then we just never changed it. And it's kind of been really cool for us because Mikey's been such a big influence on all of us in so many different aspects on a very emotional and personal level, and also on a musical level. You know, he's how all three of us met each other, which is kind of the core of our band. And then he's how we met our other two people who have come in and played with us too, which has been really funny.
Well, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, this is just a random other fact. So we're from like the Royal Oak area, mostly Royal Oak.
Oh yeah.
Actually all Royal Oak. But the funny thing is that his grandfather, everything in Royal Oak that's named Kimball is after his like great grandfather or his grandfather. So like it all in a weird way connects. Like we're from Royal Oak, so
Because people
Royal
always
Oak High
ask
School
us.
that us two used
Yeah.
to go to. He still goes there.
Yeah.
He's a baby.
Young blood.
Very young.
What used to be called Kimball High School. We actually have some like old authentic Kimball gear,
Which
which
is
is kind of
kinda
funny.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like this sweet baseball shirt that says Kimball. But then there's like a Kimball veterinarian's office, just like a bunch of random things, which like which is good
interesting.
because sometimes people will come up to us and be like, "Is that because of Kimball High School?"
Yeah.
And like people see the name and then like it just kind of connects, at least locally, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
fine. Okay. Mike is probably ecstatic that, you know.
He's got like mixed feelings about it. Like he loves it, but he feels
like-
super awkward
yeah.
about it sometimes too. 'Cause he's like, I can't believe you guys named your band after me. It's fun.
I think it's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to jump to our Pam exam.
Ooh.
Speaking of school and tests and all that stuff.
Uh-oh. I have not studied.
No studying necessary. All right. These are just random questions.
Is it like a speed answer or no?
First thing comes to your mind.
First thing
Ooh.
that comes to my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not timing it or anything. Your favorite non-music pastime?
Running. Definitely.
Like jogging?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I love long distance running.
Okay.
Is this the thing that we both have to answer?
Sure, why not?
I don't have that. I work at a coffee shop, so I love doing that. That's my only other thing that I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do. You do
So
do
love
it with love. And
Oh yeah.
cinematography.
say it again.
Cinematography.
Oh,
Like
That's a good answer.
Yeah. There we go.
that's cool. Well, you talked about the film scoring
Mhm.
before, so you must have had something that got you started. You know, enjoying the film part of
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Have you made movies like just?
Not movies, just like I'm not as into it anymore, but I've done just like some small things here and there, and I'd done some of our like promo videos. we
He's
put
very
on our
talented at it. I will
Instagram, just
say.
like more like abstract videos. I don't know. It's
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you know that would help with the
Mhm.
position you're in. You know, and of course the creative part of it. You know,
Mhm.
it kind of all goes together, and
Yeah.
that's cool.
And I
Yeah.
guess I'd say also graphic design. It's all coming to me.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
You were so worried about this question
Yes.
before. Now you just keep spewing out there. No. Look at some good ones there. What is your guilty pleasure?
What is my guilty pleasure?
Fergie. Fergie. I love Fergie. Fergie is my guilty pleasure. There we go. Answered.
Okay.
I just like Fergie, and I guess that's not totally a guilty pleasure, but sometimes people are like,
Crying.
what? It's weird.
Have you ever met Fergie?
What?
Have you
No,
ever-
I've never met Fergie. I just like some of her songs
Okay.
a lot.
Okay. And you just blurted that out.
That was so quick.
It's like people,
Oh my goodness.
people who know me would think it's funny.
Oh.
Anyway.
I'm trying to think
Interesting.
of mine. Yeah, it's probably it. There's times when like I do this thing where I'll be like really stressed out and really busy for a long period of time because I'll be playing like a gig every day for like a week straight, like in the morning and then one in the afternoon or something like that. And I have like this thing where I think it's super relaxing to just like brain fart and watch stupid kids cartoons. So it's super weird and funny, and it's odd, and there's some weird cartoons out there, but it's such a relax for me just to like sit down on the couch sometimes and just watch super colorful stupid
Like
TV
newer
shows.
stuff or the old stuff?
The older ones are better.
Yes,
a lot
thank
better.
you.
Yeah.
Well, you're not that. Well, he already mentioned you're in high school. You guys
Yeah.
are not that old, so
Yeah.
I grew up on some of those.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Just and there's if you really listen to some of there's some adult stuff
Oh,
in
yeah.
those
Oh,
cartoons.
oh, yeah.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
Now that I look at, if I look back at it,
It's
it's
just
like,
for like the parents that are like doing dishes where their kids are washing, so they can.
They need
like, laugh to
entertainment too,
themselves.
right?
They
Yeah.
can just like chuckle here and there.
Yeah.
is there anyone you would like to collaborate with?
Ooh.
Okay, is this like friends that we have?
No,
Or
I mean anybody, dead or alive.
Justin Vernon.
that would never
Yeah.
happen. But
Who?
I mean, just our like one of our favorite artists is a band is Bon Iver.
Okay.
Justin Vernon from Bon Iver, but that's just like
Okay,
that's
not
like
familiar.
that's like daydreaming right now.
Yeah. That's our daydream collaboration. Oh.
Well, yeah, you dream big. What the heck?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Why not?
That's that's the whole point. Is
Exactly.
if you could just be with anybody, help you with your songwriting or sing with you or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know this person though.
yeah.
Oh, it's okay.
alright.
He's just such an embodiment of like that whole emotional side of music that we talked about earlier.
Is he local or national or?
National.
International.
He headlined Mopop not too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. I don't know his music or anything. Do you have a go-to song you sing while in the shower?
I don't sing in the shower.
That's a good answer.
I don't either. So.
All right. Well, never mind then. Do you have a ritual before
It's
a performance?
It's Fergie. My go-to song in the shower is Fergie. Sorry. Ritual.
Ritual
Not
for
really.
performance.
We don't.
Do we have rituals?
No.
Some bands
we
do,
need to,
some don't.
We have this joke thing where we want to put on a really weird show because we're all just like really goofy, weird people. And like
Yeah.
at our shows, we like put on our professional face and go play. Not really, but we have this joke where we want to do like a really weird show. So I
Yeah.
guess the ritual could come in there. It could be a weird ritual, but
Very weird.
no, as of now, we do not have a ritual.
Well, you're fairly new at this. You've
Yeah.
only been around 2 years, which you don't. You may still have something that that when you get to a bigger stage and you're more well known or whatever it may be. I'm thinking big for you guys already. Something may come up that you need to do or just get you to ground yourself again, get you back to where your roots and what you're all about. Just like what Brody was explaining earlier. So there's still not like you have to do something, but it's something down the line that may come up that you think of and that maybe help you when you get to that bigger stage. See, I'm already thinking.
I like the way you think. I like that.
Got to do that,
Oh yeah.
What do you think of when you hear the word success?
Ooh, I think of quantity of people. For me, success is, especially musically, is never measured financially. I think it's measured by the impact you make on somebody's life. If that's one person, if that's two person, if you can really have an impact and connect with somebody emotionally, I think that's success right there.
Well said.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that, but at the same time, like as a creative and as an artist, I know a lot of people sometimes feel like there's nothing else that they can do besides that, and that's sort of how I feel. Like I just feel like I wouldn't be my happiest if I was doing work in like an office, just doing like accounting or something, And as a creative, like you need to make money, And I'm not saying that success equals money or vice versa. You're totally right about success being impacting a group of people, but if you can find a balance between the two to be able to like provide for yourself and be able to do that, that's like my view of success, and that's something like
Well, I mean, you can't just do this without getting paid for it.
Exactly.
And it's not. Yeah, it's something that has to happen, especially as a creative. You have to be able to provide for yourself with your passion.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do with your life.
Yeah, the balance, and and it's basically a business too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which a lot of people don't
It's
realize.
like a second time full job.
Yeah.
Like it literally feels like that. How much we've been doing with this. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have a manager, Lee, which you can't see on camera. He's off camera here, sitting here. But a lot of bands don't have that also. And sometimes if you want to go further, you kind of need those things, and you got to pay for them, obviously. And it's kind of a whole full circle. Oh, Lee's not free, is he? So you had to think of those things, and you want to be able to create and do your music and spread the word and all that. But the bills have to be paid as well. So. But you have a coffee job.
Yeah, I love it. It's so random, but I love it.
Do you have I mean, I don't know what kind of coffee shop it is, but do you have like a specialty that you can make and you like to make and stuff?
I like making cortados or cappuccinos.
What's a cortado?
Cortado it's like equal amounts of espresso and milk. Yeah, it's a little drink.
A little drink?
Yeah.
With a kick?
Yes, that is it.
But now I'm getting him into black coffee.
I just
A little bit. We gotta make
I'm getting sick of milk.
Yeah.
Ugh. Milk. I don't like milk.
What do you mean you're getting sick of milk?
I don't know.
It's milky.
It's milky. Yeah. A lot of people don't like milk. It's a new thing.
It's weird but true.
It is weird but true. Everyone's like soy and almond.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like dairy
okay.
milk.
Okay.
I'm getting
Gotcha.
just getting sick of
It's
milk.
like, what is
Totally random.
I lost you there. Sorry.
Once we started talking about something that wasn't music, lost it.
Okay. Is there a song that inspired you to go into the music business? Song or event or person?
Ooh, that's good.
Music business or just playing music in general?
Playing music.
No. I guess I could say my dad. I mean, he played piano. And when I was younger, like I would just play his piano, like sit on his lap and just hit the keys.
Oh, nice.
And then that's when I started like recording music on his piano when I was like really young. Like I started recording maybe at like 8.
Oh, it is young.
So I guess I could say him, but not.
Was he in a band too, or no?
I don't know. My parents got divorced when I was really young, so like I would go see him sometimes, but so I can say him, but at the same time I can't because there's been much bigger influences and inspirations. But from the beginning,
Yeah.
that's probably it.
It always seems like the people that are musicians that are in the business. I keep saying the business on it, but that they had something. They grew up with it somehow. It wasn't just out of the blue. Oh, I think I'll be a musician and I'll play.
It's kind of different for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for me, like, I'm literally the only musician in my family.
Okay.
Like, so there's, like, everything, like, that I've had to do musically, I've had to work very, very hard for. And I remember, like, way back when, played the French horn in the school band, and I hated it. It was the worst. It was the worst. And my dad's, like, just loves classic rock music, so when I started to play that, I started to actually listen to the music for the first time in my life. And I don't know why, but like classic rock music, like I really started to love it. And like, it was
Good
all
stuff.
I listened to. And I was like the kid who would always go to school with like a different classic rock shirt on every day. So like Led Zeppelin, always number one. Woo!
Love it.
I
Love
remember
hearing that.
like doing that. And then one day I came home and there was a drum set in the basement. And my dad was like, yeah, my friend let me borrow this. And I know, like, you've always kind of wanted to play drums, which is true. I'd always kind of been like, drums would be so cool to learn how to play. So I came home and there was a drum set in the basement.
Nice.
I didn't
And
even
so-
know this story.
Yeah, so I was just like, I'd fumble around on it. Like, I didn't practice at all. It was just something I'd just hit sometimes when I was bored. And then my mom one day came to me, because it was the end of the school year, and she was like, Brody, there's this really cool summer camp called the Detroit School of Rock and Pop, if you've ever heard of it, run by a man named Jason Gittinger, who's absolutely amazing. And she was like, they go on this tour and they're going to Chicago this year and they play a bunch of stops and gigs on the way and then they play at the Hard Rock Cafe. And they form a bunch of bands with these kids and you guys all learn from these professional musicians and then you perform live. So I was like, oh, that sounds so cool. And at this point, I hadn't even started taking drum lessons yet. So I took like 1 or 2 drum lessons and then like I auditioned to see if like this is something I'd be interested in and meet the people behind it. So I went and like I just floppily like played a drum beat. And Jason Gittinger, who was there with me, is like this like just world-class drummer. Like he's just absolutely ridiculous. And he's sitting next to me. He's like, yeah, you're gonna need some work, but let's do this. So I went to this camp and like I played in this band there and learned how to understand music for the first time in my life. And you know, one of the first things I ever did was play at the Hard Rock Cafe in Chicago with this group.
Wow.
I have
and
a
it
shirt
was
from there.
it was crazy. And I loved it. And I was not talented at it, but I was naturally talented with a passion for it. And to work for it. So like it just ignited something in me that, you know, from there on, like I'd practice 12 hours a day, every day, and just I fell absolutely in love with it.
And I'm just gonna say something. The thing that's so funny about us two is we're the complete opposites.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, how would you explain it? How would you explain that dynamic?
Well, like, I don't know. We're structured in a way that work very well with. I think this is why we work very well together, is because we fill in each other's opposites.
Okay.
We work. I don't know how to put it
It's
exactly.
very different. Like I said when I was younger, like I played what I heard. Like I didn't learn. I don't know how to read music. I didn't have lessons until I was like 13 and I hated them, so I stopped. I learned everything by ear, and like I just played what I heard in my head and like created what I heard in my head.
Yeah.
And so I like now I don't really practice, you know, like he's like super crazy, not crazy, but strict on
Like I gotta
practicing.
practice
Yeah,
this
and
many
which
hours
is
a
like,
day. I gotta
I
practice
love that.
this.
I love that, but for me, like it's like I just, if I have an idea, I just do it, and I'll record it, I'll put parts to it, and then sometimes I'll bring it to the band, and then we do something, or we just have different ways of writing. But it's just always been an interesting dynamic between us. Like I feel like we've gotten into an
I think
argument
that
about it
helps in a
before.
band.
yeah.
You know,
Oh,
yeah, that's-
there's a structure and there's the free spirit, and together, man, they can make magic.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Amen.
Like
Yeah,
it works
for sure.
It works very well.
That is cool. Well, kudos to your dad. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
here's a drum set.
Yep.
Have at it.
Just play.
See what happens. You know.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was unreal. There's a special place. Oh, sorry.
No,
There's a
no.
special place in parents in heaven with kids who have drum sets because it's very loud. Let's just say that.
I've never heard that before. That's cute.
Oh, man.
A special place.
I thought you were gonna
That's
say something like really
Like
nice
deep.
and
No,
sentimental, yeah,
no,
profound, and
no.
then you're like, because they're loud. And I mean, that's true. I can imagine.
Oh,
That
that's
just has to be
funny.
so
Yeah.
nice. Your parents like put up with like that so much.
Yeah.
We'll be just like practicing in the basement so loud, and I mean, I guess they're used to it.
Yeah. They can sleep through it now. It's kind of ridiculous.
So, do your parents play any instruments?
No. Only
he's the
Oh,
musician.
that's right. You said you're the only one
Yeah.
in your family. Oh, that's so cool. Well, maybe they were like wishing they had, and they're living their dream through you. You know.
Maybe.
You know, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
It's like, God,
Yeah,
I
the
never was
classic
able
rock
to do
drummer.
that, but maybe it's too late for me. But here's
Yeah.
Brody, have at it. you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I love that. Good. That is cool. That is cool. Some parents, you know, they see it in you too. You know, maybe as a little baby you were pounding, you know, and had a good beat, and they thought, something here. So, you know, who knows? Who knows? All right. Tell you what. Let's go for another song here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, those are great questions. Those are fun. This next song is called North Wilson. As you can see on the address there, that is the address of my house.
Oh.
Nobody stalked
okay.
me.
Okay.
But no, this is the name of our EP and also the name of the final song off the EP.
Yes. Okay.
Which is just means a lot to us. The song does. So it bums me out a lot that our band isn't here to play with us because it will be different. but
It'll be beautiful either way.
Here is North Wilson.
Following out, it's not okay. Stumble out or break the glass, get out of her face. 'Cause I know she is down. Screwing around with all our minds. Take your keys and take your cash, there's not much to find. And all your petty little things. I promise you if I knew where it would be, I would have been. So go. So go. Cause change is uncomfortable. Never been so happy in a place I'd say love to see live without being afraid. Love to see live without being afraid. Uncomfortable. Is uncomfortable. Oh, oh.
Nice. Title track from your EP, North Wilson.
Yeah.
Just came out this past May?
June.
June. Yeah, June. Very nice. Very nice. Are you working on another one yet at this point, or are you just...
We're doing a lot of different things. We're
Okay.
constantly in a state of writing music. I think an album is one of the next things that we have in mind. When that comes up, I think we're letting it kind of write itself in terms of time, because it's something that we really don't want to rush.
Yeah, that's good.
So we're just kind of playing a lot of shows right now. We're writing a lot of material on the side, and you can hear a lot of our new material actually at our live shows, which is really fun.
Yeah.
And we're looking to possibly release a single sometime within the next, maybe half a year or so, would you say?
Could be sooner, could be
Could be later.
not
Who
later than a
knows?
half a year, but could be sooner than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all, things are up in the air right now. We're just waiting for things to come together.
Okay.
It's a lot of different parts.
Well, you are, like you said, the live shows, and you've got Arts, Beats, and Eats coming up.
I do a little say what we're playing.
Sure.
Yeah. So we have Arts, Beats, and Eats this Friday at 5:15 on the Ford Alternative stage.
Okay.
Which again will be our third year playing there, which is just so incredible.
Band
that we're playing.
anniversary.
That says a lot
Band.
about you guys. You know, they keep inviting you back.
Yeah, so we're playing that, and then we are playing Hamtramck Labor Day Music Festival September 2nd on the North Stage at 2:30. That'll be our first year playing that. That's going to be fun. And then we're playing Dally in the Alley September 8th at the Alley Stage at 4 p.m.
Another
which
big
we're
festival.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're really pumped about that one.
That's gonna be fun.
And all these shows are going to be full band, much more energy,
yeah.
much different than this.
Okay. Okay.
I can't say enough how bummed I am that
You're
our-
bummed. I'm happy. I love this. I think it shows a very, very different side of us
It
musically.
does, but at least
and it
Well,
if
you know,
Emily were here, that would be.
That's
less
true,
different,
but
too.
it's nice to see that. But people that are not familiar with you, it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
always nice that they
Yeah.
hear what you normally do. So,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
okay. You
It's
know,
just it.
you know,
yeah,
life
that's the
happens.
thing.
I
And
I get
Yeah.
it.
And for
I
me
get it.
personally, I feel like it's harder for me to sing the way I do without my
Without your girl.
without my lovies.
Okay.
My lovies in my band.
All right, and you don't have a website at this point, but Facebook page is where
Yeah,
they can
Facebook and
get more
Instagram.
information.
We definitely need a website, but Instagram I think is where we post
Yeah.
most of our stuff, but also Facebook. But
Okay.
we're most active on
Okay.
Instagram.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, you two.
Yeah.
Thank you so
for
much.
coming in, and minus the other three. That you know, it's better that I'm glad you didn't just say we can't make it because of you know
Yeah.
the little emergencies that came up. But no, I appreciate you guys coming in.
Yeah,
And
thank you
course.
so
Thank
much
you
for
for
having
having
us.
giving us absolutely. So thank you, Austin and Brody, and again,
you.
and Lee off camera that you just heard. So thanks for coming in and playing for us here today and talking to you guys. It's great to meet you, and I am looking forward to seeing the whole band. So look, that'll be fun. So follow them on Facebook. You'll get all the information and the Kimball band, or Kimball.
Just
Kimball. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Do appreciate that as well. And until next time, I'm Pam Rossi here from Music Town. Have a great week.